one of the summer updates in The Sims 4, they added these glass wallpapers, and basically when you apply them, it turns the wall into one big window. So I've seen this trend going around the community where people are trying to build a house using only glass walls, and I think that could be interesting and a bit challenging because when you apply the wallpaper to the entire shell like this, for example, it definitely looks a little bit odd. Like it's pretty much an invisible house at this point. I mean, I can't really talk. I've literally made my Sims live in an entire glass dome before on this channel. So we are going to attempt this challenge, and the rules that we're going to go by are we have to use glass walls on the outside, maybe even on the inside. We'll see how that goes. And since I am an EA partner in the EA Creator Network, if you want to support my channel, you can use my code sydneymacoretta at checkout on the EA app or on thesims.com, and I'll earn a small commission off your purchase. So today we're going to be building in Inish Green, and I have not yet built in this neighborhood, Spruceberry Grove. So we're going to be building on this lot over here. The neighborhood here is really cute. I like the trees that are around, and also it has this really pretty default terrain happening. Like there's a little bit more texture on here than your usual like Newcrest terrain, for example. And starting off with our shell, we are gonna have to get crafty in the ways that we can make this look good. Like we can still use things like trim, columns still work, windows even, as long as our walls are entirely glass. And that got me thinking there are so many ways that we could do this. I was playing around with some window options, like these base game ones could give off almost like a stained glass look. I feel like it looks best when there are no gaps in between, so you could even use columns to separate. Like look how cool this looks. I feel like it gives off a totally different vibe than if we were to use just like a regular wallpaper. Here's the same sort of idea in white. So another part of this challenge is I do want to use all glass roofing. We have quite a few glass roof paint options, majority of them being base game. So I'm gonna just grab one. We'll use this one for now. And one of my favorite features about the glass wallpaper is you can apply it onto the roofing wallpaper, which opens up so many roofing window possibilities. Like mid-century modern houses, for example, were really hard to roof before because no windows quite fit into that roofing part. So I'm gonna go a little bit funkier with our roof shape, and then I'm gonna go in and find some other window options that we can add on to this. This is not going to be all of our house, by the way. I am going to expand on this. Imagine I just made you click on this video and this is what you get. These could also be interesting. These were from For Rent. I'm thinking this is gonna be like a side door, so I'm gonna leave a space for a door in between, but I'm just gonna go in and fill these gaps. And I'm using a medium wall height right now, so let's go and find a door. I'm really liking that pale green with the beige. So there's a few options. We got Strangerville, but I think I want to also find like a really glass door. Ooh, this could be fun. This is from Get to Work. I barely ever use this one. Let's give this a go today. Okay, so now that we have our idea, our little like shed is coming along, let's now add on to this. So I'm gonna add a bigger box like this, and actually I'm gonna bring the glass wallpaper with us as we go so we see what it looks like before all the details. I want to avoid overlapping the glass roofing because when you start overlapping them, it looks a little weird. So we'll cut that glass roofing piece off right there, and I'll add our glass wallpaper. Maybe we bring this out a little bit. We can expand on it this way, and I did want to add a pretty big front piece like this. And then maybe I can delete some down here so we get a little bit of dimension. And then for now, just so we can see what it looks like completely hollow, I'm going to delete the walls on the interior too. We will cross that bridge when we get there. I'll mimic a similar idea here in the back. I wasn't really intending on going 4 floors up, but I think we got to do it today. We're going to do 4 floors all the way up to the top like this. And I'm leaving space on that 3rd floor so we can roof on top of it. I'm going to delete all of this stuff temporarily so we can just see the shell just with the glass wallpaper. Okay, so here it is with nothing on it. Do you see what I mean? It looks really weird, but also kind of cool. I mean, it'd be really convenient for gameplay. You wouldn't have to put the walls down all the time, but like everybody else would also see your Sims all the time. So we've got that side part back. Let's bring this up on a foundation. We'll add some foundation paint, and I'm also going to add that Castle Estate trim around the bottom floor. The wall heights up here are smaller, so we can't use any of these top trims. We'll have to use these ones instead. So I'm going to use this one from high school years. And actually, before we go in and roof the rest, we're going to have to use that fence trick. So anywhere that I know I'm going to have roofing, I'm going to go in with this base game fence. And this is just going to allow us to add that trim there where we weren't able to add it before. I do this all the time. It basically just makes the trim look better under your roofing. And actually, top floor, let's change it up. Let's use this fencing from Strangerville. Okay, now for roofing, I'm going to take the roofing that I have over on the side and we're going to add that onto the front. I might raise it up a little bit since this is like a feature on the house. Oh my gosh, I completely completely missed where that was supposed to go. That's a lot better. And then so it doesn't look like it's just floating there, I'm gonna go grab some columns, and I think I'm gonna use this one from Discover University because I really like this pale green swatch. So I'm gonna raise that up so it's just sitting like right where that trim is. And then I'm gonna bring them over here as well. This is again just gonna add some dimension without obviously changing the wallpaper. We still have glass walls, we are just adding on to them. For the rest of the roofing, I'm gonna go in and grab a half gabled roof, and we're gonna do these side pieces here. So I'm gonna add it on so that it's gonna be covering this little spot. I'll bring it in so it's fitted, and then when I'm using glass roofing, I like bringing my adjusters in completely, just like tucking them right in, because otherwise I feel like it looks weird. Like when the adjusters are hanging over, you can see the wall underneath, and I just don't like how that looks. So we're going to curve that out, and then I'm really liking adding this onto the wallpaper on the roofing. We're gonna add the green Enchanted by Nature trim, and then I can just copy and paste that roofing piece over to the other side. So far we have this, and then for this top part up here, I'm gonna take a hipped roof this time, and I'm adding it all along the top of that third floor. I wanna make sure it's not coming through this top part, so we're gonna bring that down, and then we're gonna curve this out. I want it to be pretty tall on there, so we're gonna take the same roof paint, and we'll just have that up there like that. I think one of the weird parts about the glass walls in this scenario is you can't really see where the points end. Like the corners kind of get lost in all of the glass. So I'm gonna start taking some of the columns, and literally every single point is going to get a column. Like anywhere that the walls are coming out to a point is gonna get a column. It's a lot easier too to do this once you get up to higher floors when the grid is on. See, I feel like that just makes it so much better. And then I want to find another window variation. Ooh, there is a matching green window from Get to Work, or there's the everlasting window from Life and Death. Ooh, yeah, this is gonna look pretty. Okay, I'm gonna add this onto some spots, and then I think I might break it up also with another column. So we'll do the same thing over on this side. I'll add some fencing onto all of these decks as well. So this one is from Discover University. I'm wrapping these ones around on the sides too, and those Life and Death windows come in different wall heights too, so we can also bring them up to the higher floors. Okay, yeah, I feel like this is the build click moment. This is gonna look so pretty. I wasn't really sure when we started this, but we're going somewhere. I think I'll add a few windows along the sides just to break it up. I think I'm gonna use the same door as my front door. I also added these doors from Dine Out on my patios, which we have 4 of them, so there's gonna be a lot of doors going outside on the interior, but that's okay. I was trying to think also of who would be living in a house like this, and my first thoughts were astronomers, someone who really likes looking at the sky, maybe someone who's really into the weather. Like we could definitely add the weather machine out here. Right now I'm just adding these details. These are from high school years, and I feel like they just act as like little caps onto the top of the columns. And I also added this little wooden accent on top of my roofing. We're also gonna add these spires from Life and Death, and then I want to bring this out in the front. Maybe we can do this as well, and then we could do double stairs just leading up like this. This fence doesn't have a matching railing, unfortunately, so what I always like to do is just finish it off by drawing the fence outwards like that, and then you can just add the foundation on there too. We need something leading up to the side. I will do another big deck in the back. We'll bring it outwards similar to the front, and then for the back we'll have stairs leading like this. And then for the walkways, I'm just going to use this base game terrain paint. We'll do a double walkway like this, and then I'll just connect that here, and then we'll bring it around the back. We could leave an open space here too, and then I think this would look really pretty with some of the vines from Enchanted by Nature on it. Just with the colors that we used, I feel like these match really well, and it can also add a little bit of detail. Like I can bring them up on the sides here. We can add some at the front like this, and I think maybe a detail going over the door would be really cute, like maybe a window box. Oh, this one from Get Famous could be nice if we just shrink it and then put the vines like underneath. And then for my lights, I'm going in and adding these ones from Jungle Adventure, and then at the top too, I'm also adding these glass flooring pieces. These are from Island Living, and let me go find that weather machine. This is from The Sims 4 Seasons, and your Sims can actually use this to change the weather. I feel like you would probably generally hide something like this from the neighborhood, but it appears like there are going to be no secrets in this house. I also think the observatory just makes a lot of sense. Like we can put this over to the side somewhere, and then we could just have a little pathway leading to it. We could make a stone pathway from the Riviera Retreat kit. I have this gap over here. I kind of want to add in that koi fish pond from Get Famous, like this one that has literal sharks and piranhas that can unalive your Sims. Oh yeah, that looks pretty there. I'm going to add landscaping around those gaps, just like little base game pieces, and since there's purple landscaping in that, we basically have the same flowers from the romantic garden kit, which is a separate pack. So we'll use those. Ooh, and we got some new stones. As someone who loves to landscape in this game, this is really exciting to me. So I'm gonna add these in. Also, the fact that they're only $1. Some of these other rocks get really pricey, so this is great. You can size them up and they still look good. That one actually kind of looks like Kirby if he was sleeping like face down. Oh no, I can't unsee it. Sorry about that. But like we can do a little something in here. We could add a statue. Oh, what about the astronomer right at the front? That'll look cute. Then we can just add a little landscaping around him. And then along the same idea, we could add a chess table on the balcony. I'll add some pretty chairs around it. I don't know if we're gonna have kids living here, so just in case, I might add this swing set. This one is also from Life and Death. I feel like it just matches the vibe. And here we have our all glass house in The Sims 4. The exterior is all complete. All of the walls out here are entirely made of glass, and we managed to find ways to make it look not as weird. I really like all of the green details on here with all of the vines too. I also think the various different types of glass wallpaper look really pretty. At the front, we of course have our mailbox. I added some seating there from Seasons. I brought the same seating over here to the side. On our front balconies, obviously we have our chess table, and then on this one I just added a small like bistro table. And then in the back I did add a telescope onto this balcony. I still might turn the upstairs into some kind of observatory. I haven't really decided yet, but we do have one on the balcony. We have a couple stools there from Jungle Adventure. And then on the final balcony, I did go and just add the listening device from Strangerville. The neighbors already know we're sus, so like may as well just lean into it at this point. We have a barbecue out here. I did just add a little picnic table and this cooler bag. I like actually want this in real life. It's from Growing Together, I believe. And I did just add a toy box over to the corner here as well. Okay, we've got the outside all done. Now we need to go and figure out what to do for the interior. So I have made somewhat of a layout. We might have to change it, but for the top floor, this is just going to be open. Again, like it could be a study, a little library. I don't really know yet. Same thing as the third floor. These two have ladders leading up, so could be a bedroom, but that might be a little weird. Could also be like a seating area, a skill room of some kind. Those are left wide open. But then for the second floor, this is where we're gonna have all of our bedrooms. I was able to fit 3 here, so there's gonna be 3 bedrooms on this floor. And then for the bottom floor, we are gonna have a bathroom. Gonna have to really go heavy on the curtains there. It's gonna be sort of wide open. We'll have a kitchen around here. We'll have a living room, dining, maybe another bathroom. We'll see how it goes. So let's see how crazy it would look if we did use all glass wallpaper. Automatically, the archways look okay, but the doors look a little sad, especially if this is going to be a bathroom. We would for sure need to use the window trick. But if we do that, that could look kind of cool. Like this would basically just be patterned wallpaper at this point. We might have to go a little minimalistic with our decor, but even just having a little something over the door to cover up that gap like this from Spot A. I don't hate how that looks with the archway. You know what? I think we can do it. Every wall in this house is going to be glass. We'll need separation there for the bedrooms. Otherwise, it's going to get real awkward. Let's grab some flooring. This one's from Jungle Adventure. I think this will be a kitchen, so I'm going to add some tile in there. We'll also add some tile for the bathroom. And I don't really know what this is going to be yet, so I'm just going to bring flooring in there too. Let's add curtains. I'm going to use some sheer ones from Desert Luxe. And then we'll just bring the mount around, so ideally you could just like pull these across. But I also do think those windows look really pretty on the inside. So I'm going to try not to cover them too much. I might just use them to cover like the plain glass wallpaper and obviously all of the bathroom. I was thinking about using like a really tall bookshelf to cover up the stairs there, but I think it almost looks really cool behind that glass wall. So maybe instead this is where we could add a couch. There's also a lot of patterns happening because of like the windows. So ideally I'm going to be looking for plain rugs, like even something like the industrial loft one, and then we can just add a table in the middle of it. This one I'm using right now is from Growing Together. You know what? Let's push that back and we can put our TV on there. I don't want to use a wall mounted one, so I'm just going to use this base game one and we'll just size it up. I'm also really liking how all of the different wood tones are working together here. I'm going to try and use this chair from Eco Lifestyle there. I don't know if I want it there or over in this corner though. Or we could have it facing this way. Ooh, actually another good idea I just thought of for this family. They could be really into like recycling and some of those eco lifestyle skills. Like clearly they're super crafty in the way that they use their materials, or maybe they're inventors. Like I definitely see them being something along those lines. I want to get a really funky light. I actually like this one a lot from this sleek bathroom kit. And then I think under the stairs, I'm going to add this toy box. ducks. Actually, wait, we could do a cute little spot under there for them, like a play area. We could add a rug, maybe some little pillows, and we can hang some fairy lights from the stairs. And then I think I'm gonna add some clutter on the ground too, like the friendship bracelet making kit. We could add this book on the ground too, just like the open one from the Comfy Gamer kit. I'll add a couple of these in here because these are really cute. So there we have just a small, simple under the stairs area. Do we think a rug here would look good? Or we could even add a change in flooring. That might be kind of fun, but also maybe a little weird. A different flooring might look good. And then in this awkward side room, I was thinking about just lining the wall with bookshelves, but from the back, I think that might look kind of strange. So what if instead we made like a fun bookshelf that you can see from the other side? Or we could even bring it over so it's mirrored on the other side too, although that might not work with these shelves. What if they connected like this? I don't know, something about this I like. And then here we just put a plant or something to fill the gap on the other side. The Jungle Adventure one is a little smaller, so let's try that. And then all we have to do is fill this up with book clutter. Luckily, these shelves have multiple different slots so you can add them. So we can use some base game ones. We can change it up with like the Book Nook kit books. Same thing on the other side. I'll just add some variety so it's not the same. Oh, these ones are nice too from the living room kit. There's also a gap in this space, so we could add a light as decor. I like these ones from Cottage Living because they have different heights. And then yeah, that looks really interesting on both sides in my opinion. And then on the inside, we could add a rug from Laundry Day. And then I think I'll add some of the other chairs from Eco Lifestyle. We've got room here for a small table. We can use this one from Horse Ranch. And then I'm just adding a little bit of clutter on any of the spaces where it can fit. And there we go. What a cool little room. It's so unique and so pretty with that lighting coming in the window too. That is one thing we are not going to be short of in this house. So looking at the spaces we have left, I feel like this is a perfect spot for dining. So I'm gonna use, I think, the new table from the Nature's Calling event. There are some fun painted swatches on here too. I might try out this green one. And then did we get matching chairs? I feel like we did. Yeah, okay, these ones. I'll add these chairs around. I'm just adding a simple rug from Base Game underneath the dining table. And then I feel like maybe instead of the light in this room, we could hang this wooden garden box from Love Struck. This could also look really good pressed up against these walls because you'll be able to see it from the outside. Like it'll also act as decor for the exterior too. So maybe we do that on both sides. I'll just push those up like this. And then along the same lines, I'm gonna still hang those lights from Cottage Living. You guys, this is turning out so pretty. I really did not expect this to happen, but like this is such a magical looking build while it's still modern looking in a way too. And it's fancy. I love it. Okay, but we are gonna run into some problems with the kitchen. Basically because if I add a fridge, it'll look fine from this side, but then I'll turn around and it looks horrible in the back. And like most fridges are gonna look like this. So I guess we could try and hide it with the window trick. Every time I place these also, my game doesn't seem to like it. So I'm saving pretty often in this build. And then yeah, I think we could get away with this like that. I'm using counters from Snowy Escape, but the other issue we're gonna run into is normally when I'm building in The Sims, I will tend to avoid covering any windows at all. But like that's kind of inevitable in this build. Like one way or another, they're getting covered. So I mean, you know what? It doesn't look that weird from the outside. Like I guess if I cared that much about it, I could just cover it with a trellis. And then it's actually pretty easy from here. We can just replace that counter with an oven. I'm gonna use the same one from Snowy Escape. We can also add a sink right here. Smoke detector is just gonna have to go along these windows. I think I'll put my trash can like just outside of this, like right here maybe, or even it might look better just in this corner like that. And I really like these Snowy Escape counters because we can clutter underneath them. Like I can go and add little things down here so we don't have to clutter up the countertops. Don't get me wrong, I love a cluttered countertop, but in this scenario, we already have a lot happening, so just trying to keep it clean. Although this kitchen really does suit a cookbook pro display. And you know what? Maybe some cookies. A little kitchen clutter won't do that much harm. On top of the fridge, I am just raising up this bathroom kit plant. If there's something else I can add up there, I might too, like just some other clutter. I feel like we could hang stuff from these windows too, like those pots and pans from Horse Ranch, and also the kitchen aprons. And maybe a little towel here, because why not? All right, so this is how our kitchen turned out. Lots of details happening in here, but we're still keeping that sort of clean look. I love how the outside is working with the inside too. Like that trellis is basically just decor for this kitchen. Now all we have for this floor is the bathroom. I've already covered majority of the wall. I'm gonna leave those open just again with the idea that you can pull them across. Sims won't get that like embarrassed thing regardless in here. But like, do I want to cover all of these windows? I don't think I do. Instead, we could add a plain divider and then we could have our bathtub behind it. Then we also use our trellis idea. We could add a little table by the bathtub and then we just add some towels on there, like bathroom clutter. We could put the toilet here. Technically, behind that, I also have this plant divider. So like maybe we would be safe. I think I should just bring the trellis with us this way. Like again, it does not matter, but like we'll just do it, you know? And then maybe we get a sink here. This divider might kind of be in the way though. If I squeeze this stuff over as much as possible, that might be functional. I need a sim to test this. All right, this lot actually belonged to this guy, Todd, the apothecary guy, who honestly does kind of match the aesthetic a little bit here. So let me see if Todd can come take a bath. Nope, he can't. Okay, it's fine. We'll just rearrange this entire thing. How about now? Will this work out? Oh, yep, I think we've got the layout down. Okay, so this is what we're gonna have to do. I'll delete one of the trellises here so we can add a mirror. And then in here, we can use those cool lights that we had from Jungle Adventure. We can still hang robes in here. We can add other little bathroom things. I felt kind of weird adding pictures in the other room just because of the glass, but in the bathroom, we're gonna want this to cover up our walls anyway. Okay, so this is our bathroom all complete. This might be the only one in the house, so I'm glad it's this big. And just since I have a little extra room in these hallways, I'm gonna add just a couple extra skill items. So I got the easel there. I also added the crochet box. I'm gonna bring this flooring up to the hallway. Okay, this upstairs is gonna bring a whole new set of problems. Like, first of all, I don't really want anyone to be able to see into the bedrooms from the hallway, obviously. And then when you're in the bedrooms, I don't want to be able to see the other bedrooms. So I've already added some curtains on that side. We need something to cover this up. I was thinking about using these from Eco Lifestyle and like covering it up that way, but I don't know. Ooh, we have these from Eco Lifestyle. A little more of a colorful option than we have been doing. Also from Eco Lifestyle, we have these. This could be another way to cover it up. I think this middle one here is going to be the kids' room, so I'm just going to add some carpet in there. This one from Dine Out could also match. And then we still need some kind of barrier back here, so I'm going to add plants, like just this ivy from Vampires right behind the metal details. I've added those windows again into some of these spots here. It's really just the wall with the door that I'm worried about. I mean, we could use these beaded curtains from Love Struck. Like maybe we can get away with it. You know what? I think it's fine. Let's start doing the kids' room. So we're gonna have to do another plant wall in between this bedroom and that one. To keep it consistent, I think I'll use the same curtains like this. We're gonna add a bed. This one looks so cozy from Cats and Dogs. And then we can add one of those cute little tables from the Cozy Kitsch kit. And I just have these spots left. I'm gonna use some pictures to hide that part of the glass. We need something similar on this side too, so I'm again just using some pictures from City Living. And then on this side, we need to add some toys. I'm gonna try and keep everything like on theme here. Oh, this Sasquatch toy can have a little baby. I'm gonna actually put them right here to make sure this sim can play with those. And then we can just add something in the corner like this giraffe. We do still need a dresser, maybe something that doesn't take up too much room. Like this one's okay. We can add some more little toys on here. This one's very animal themed. Like that is so cute from the storybook kit. Oh my gosh, this one has a bow. We'll add a couple other things on here like the journal. Maybe we can add the jar of marbles or the scouting manual. I guess out here in the hallway somewhere we could add the scouting badge board. That's from Seasons. And we do have room for a small mirror here, so I guess I'll just add that in too. I don't want to clutter this too much because I want to make sure Sims can still walk through this area. But there we go. We've got a super cute animal themed kids room. I think my favorite part is probably this quilt. I love this bed. The swatches are so pretty. Like look at this little cat one. Okay, moving on. Let's go do the parent bedroom. This is where it gets a little weird because we have the double doors like leading out to both patios. So we have to make sure we're not blocking any of these doors, and we are. Basically anywhere we place this is going to be a little awkward, so I'm gonna have to rearrange. I really just have to move this over like that. The way this literally feels like a puzzle. This is a tricky challenge, but it's kind of fun. You definitely need to be thinking outside the box on this one, but that's good every once in a while. Good for the brain. All right, we got the bed to fit in here. I'm gonna use end tables from Seasons on the side. I'll use the same lamps that we used downstairs from the living room kit. Then for a dresser, again, I want to try not to cover a window, so I kind of need a smaller dresser. We can add this one in the corner from Horse Ranch, and now we're kind of free to put whatever. I think I might put an ottoman. I'm just thinking now about how we totally could have fit our skill items indoors, like the ones like the weather machine and the listening device. Going into this challenge, I totally thought it would be a lot harder to hide things, but whatever. I feel like it's kind of funny being out there, and we still still have our top two rooms for things like that as well. So I'm gonna leave this as our bedroom. Again, going more minimal with the furniture because the walls have so much going on. It's planty, it's modern. I'm into it. So let's go do this final room. The plants don't show up on the other side, which is kind of funny. So I'm just gonna add these back here. And this one also has the two doors leading out, but I guess we could make a teen room. We're gonna deal with the double bed situation again. So this teen is gonna have to have a single bed, which is fine. We can still make it work. What if the teen is the one with all of the listening device and weather device issues? Wait, I got it. Okay, so this teen, and stay with me, okay? This teen is into photography. One of the parents can still be an inventor. So they created the weather machine and the listening device for the teen so that the teen can get the perfect shots. Maybe they want a nice sunset at like golden hour. Or maybe they want something moody and mysterious so they make it thunderstorm. The listening device, maybe they're into journalism and the photographer teen needs to be where the action is happening at all times so they can get the perfect shot. So yeah, we've got inventor parent, photographer teen. I'm just adding some cameras around here for them. We can add some magazines from Moschino, some extra like camera clutter also from Moschino. The desk area is cute. Now we just need again a small dresser. Probably the best fit will be this one from Tiny Living. And I'm gonna try and find something that will stick out. Yeah, like this. Maybe I can shrink this and add it into the wall somehow. It just felt like it was weird to have a photography sim with no art on the walls. Let's put it together and make one big one. This artwork here is from Dream Home Decorator. Okay, so we have a cute bedroom here for a photography sim. Maybe they're in school for photography or studying in high school to become that. Again, not adding too much because I don't want to cover those doors, but there we have our second floor complete. Now we need to go and do the third floor and we're going to tie all of this together. So coming up here, I've already added my curtains. I feel like this should be a study slash workshop slash photography studio. Let's start with the study part. So we've got our bookshelves. I want to add a woodworking table. I'm going to add it here like this. I also like adding some of this stuff underneath here. This is from the Artist Studio kit. The Restoration Workshop also has sawdust we can add under there. Ooh, actually, let's use some stuff from that kit. So we have this, the caddy. There's some other workshop clutter we can add in here. We can also add things like trunks for storage. We could even raise them on top of each other. We'll keep with the planty theme too. I'll just add a couple plants over here. I feel like a trash can would also make sense in this room. We could use a desk over here. This way the family can have another computer other than the one in the teens room. We'll just make sure that's over far enough so we're not blocking anything. This sim could even be into like space photography. Another reason why we would have to change the weather. I'll add another table in the middle here. This is from Cats and Dogs. Here we can add some more Restoration Workshop stuff like this toolbox. And then I think I'll just add some beanbag chairs in here too if I can fit them. I'm liking how we have a bit of a chaotic yet chill vibe going on up here. Like, is it really a workshop or a studio if it doesn't feel like that in the first place? Okay, so this is our workshop slash study area. A bit of a chaotic creativity room. Super cute. And also like this is gonna be looking so cool from the outside. I just realized there were some spots here that have like flooring there. So instead of deleting it, which was my first thought, because then we could have the nice lighting coming down from the roof. But then all of that work we just did to try and like cover up the walls is pointless because you can see it straight into the bedroom. So I guess what we'll do instead is just add grass here. Could even make it into a little garden. And then finally going up to the fourth floor, let's do the space and the photography idea. Like we can set up the tripod next to the telescope. We'll add a little camera in there. This is facing the other way. There we go. I think then we could also add some chairs up here. So again, we get that cozy vibe. Maybe some poofs as well from Life and Death. We'll get a little more of the camera clutter from Moschino. We'll add in a moon lamp just to match the vibe. I don't know how well you could take a picture through those windows. Like hypothetically, they wouldn't be there. I'm gonna finish it off with some fairy lights. And there we have the cutest little hypothetical space photography room. This build took so many turns. I still don't really know entirely what's going on here, but regardless, it turned out to be such a beautiful build. I really did not expect it to turn out this good, but I love this. Here it is once again, all complete on the outside. And that is all I got for you guys today. If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know any video ideas you want to see me do in the future. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.